back. DJ Vic Vapor with you. So we've exported our stems, and now we're going to talk about organizing them and bringing them back into Bitwig Studio and preparing them for our live performance. So I mentioned in the previous tutorial the importance of labeling, and of course I use the BPM there as well. But one of the benefits not only of labeling as far as exporting and organizing and understanding what you've exported is also the folder that you've exported them into. Make sure it's labeled with the right track, that whatever project or whatever the name of that track was. Make sure you're extremely organized, because as your organization or as your exporting skills develop and your library increases, you need to have organization to be able to make things as easy as possible. Now, I understand, exporting and working in this manner and getting things out. I understand it. I get it. It's very time consuming. But the time that you're spending now and the diligence and the hours that you're, spending now, I guess, or working through now is what's going to save you on your live performance, because you're going to have a very smooth and very effortless performance. And you're just going to look extremely professional and extremely polished. And all this hard work's going to pay off. And as your live performances grow and your understanding of your environment and your audience needs, you can kind of hone your skills a little bit to to develop specific techniques that are good for those particular shows. So, all right, we've got our stems. I've got our category right here, and then we've got our 5 stems here. So what I was going to get to is one of the other benefits of labeling, outside of just understanding what the track is or what the audio is when you bring it into Bitwig Studio. Let me show you actually 2 things here. If you're in the mix view, and let's say we're gonna bring our drum track, our drum stem over first, and I bring it over to the audio track here and drop it. Of course, the clip is labeled drums 121, but the audio track itself is no longer labeled. It's just staying audio 1. Now I could go ahead and hit Command R and I could type that in. But a little trick here, let me delete this guy. Or not necessarily a trick, but a little tip would be to go, when you bring them in, go to the arrange view. Now when I bring drums in and drop it on this audio track, it's going to label it for me. See? Now it's labeled. So we'll go ahead and drag these guys in. Drums, we'll do bass next. And it'll add the track and label it as I go. So let me see, I'll go drums, bass. What would I want below that? Let's go with synth, if my mouse will cooperate. Get our synth in there, and we'll go with the ambient perk. Drop it in there, and we'll put the vocals on the bottom. Now you could do them any way you want. This is just how I'm going to do this project. So see, what the cool thing is, but by doing it in the arrange view, now it's got everything labeled for us and the BPM's there, and we know that our project BPM is good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the on the other side of the keyboard, hit tab. Now we're back here and we've got everything labeled, which is a beautiful thing. So bass, put our bass clip in, double click it, and bring up the inspector, make sure it's got, it's looping and it's stretching algorithms and everything, the tempo is correct. So let's go ahead and hit the drums. Our synth group. Perk and Vox. Now you guys can, Bitwig's extremely flexible, you know that. So you don't have to use this method. I'm just showing you kind of from a lot of exporting and importing experience and stuff. It's just something that was time saver, not to have to keep labeling stuff over and over. All right, so that is a good way to keep things organized and bringing the stems back into the project, back into Bitwig Studio, and understanding, what we need to do to make ourselves aware of labeling and things like that. So let's go ahead and jump on into the next video, and we'll take a look at some more cool stuff on DJing and performing live with Bitwig Studio.